I'm Hazel Barrett, I'm the Project Officer for the We Know It project, and I am a part of Sheffield City Council's emergency planning team. The We Know It project is a 3-year European funded project, and one of the case studies that it's looking at is emergency response. The We Know It project came about as a result of the 2007 floods which took place in Sheffield and across various regions. Traditionally what happens is that a forward liaison officer, a person from the local authority is sent to the scene, and they're the eyes and the ears of the authority. With this new application, what it's able to do is to capture an image and actually send a still picture and a message, and what we often say is that a picture paints 1,000 words. We're here because we're testing the traditional emergency response methods against the new We Know It project application.
The main idea behind this project is that with the advent of new technologies, people get used to actually upload information. So people upload videos on YouTube, they upload images on Flickr, they upload comments on Facebook or on BBC News. The idea is, can we try to extract knowledge from all this information and make it valuable for people that have a task? The task that we tried to analyze was the emergency response task. For example, there is a fire somewhere. It's important to know how wide is the fire, where is it spreading, if it's touching buildings or not, on which road it exactly is. Our idea is, can we bring live information into all this? We also use geolocation techniques to be able to geolocate the information for the people that are uploading. And the system also provides you with interfaces for post-incident management analysis. These technologies allow you to revise all the information after an emergency is happening, learn a lesson, derive causes and root cause analysis, and understand the issues, and be able to write reports with all the information that has been collected from different sources.
What's going to happen today is that South Yorkshire Fire and Rescue are going to set up the incident yard for us, and they're going to make it look as though there has been an incident. So there will be real vehicles, there will be real individuals who will sit in those vehicles, and they will act as casualties. And there will also be participants from the group who will go out, they will assess the scene and send images back to either the control room for We Know It or the control room for the traditional methods.
This is the interface that you will see when images and documents and forms start to appear. This is a simple list of all the documents that have been uploaded in chronological order. So in here, within this page, you will see exactly what's coming in one after the other, all the new documents. And basically the idea is, using the system, can you understand what type of emergency we are talking about? There will be something happening out there that you cannot see. Okay. And people will start sending in pictures and sending in forms about the incident.
So we build up a picture from what they're calling in,
yeah,
what's on there, right?
Because you don't see what's happening. That's simulating what happens during an emergency. The emergency responders are in the control room that can be miles away from where the incident is.
So what's our ultimate goal? Is it to determine what the incident type is, or whether more people are needed, or?
To understand what's happening, and that's a generic understanding. So do you understand what type of incident it is? Do you understand if it's a plane crashing or is snow? Do you understand how severe it is?
To build up a general picture.
Yeah. You can choose a location for the incident. Of course, you're not emergency responders, so you're not supposed to know what an access and egress and the point. Just ignore them. When you submit, it will thank you for, and it will send you back to a web page. At that point, you just get out of here.
Great.
I'm Keith Bradley. I work for Sheffield City Council as the Emergency Planning Officer for Sheffield. Today is about comparing how quickly we can get information from an incident scene using traditional methods compared to using the We Know It application.
The idea is that what we need to know from you
is how quickly you can get information from the incident site to the person in the control room, and whether the person in the control room actually understands the information you're giving them. Just as a way of example, during the floods in 2007, I was actually working in the control room when it started to rain quite heavily. I went home at lunchtime because we thought it might go into the evening. I listened to the radio all afternoon and they kept talking about floods in Sheffield. I only anticipated the floods being in the usual hot spots and where the road is lower or the surface is lower. But when I actually returned to the office in the early evening, I actually saw Sea King helicopters lifting people off roofs of buildings, and as a result I suddenly realised the immense nature of the disaster that had befallen Sheffield at that time. So I think that just in that one instance actually showed how valuable a picture is. When you make your call, I would ask you to act as though you were a member of the public, not necessarily an emergency planning officer, as we've got at the back of the net, but just to give information as you see it. During the floods also, the resources of the emergency services were very stretched, and it wasn't possible to go to every reported incident, so we had to prioritise who goes to what and when they went. If we'd been able to have the application working, then we may have been able to get pictures from people reporting incidents, which would have given us a better idea of the predicament that they were in and whether or not they were high priority or perhaps less of a priority in terms of getting somebody to them.
I'm trying not to get too close because, as I said, there is still smoke coming from the vehicle on its roof, the red one, so we don't know exactly if it could explode at any time.
Just ringing up to inform you, additional to what we said earlier, there is a smell of rotten eggs at the location as well.
Hydrogen sulfide.
I think it could be hydrogen sulfide type of smell, but the sort of rotten eggs, odd smell.
Which could be in the vehicle that's been transported.
That seems to be somewhere around the red vehicle that's on its roof.
So today was an evaluation of the system and the technologies that we developed during the project. The project is now coming to an end. It's finishing in April of this year, and we were trying to evaluate the technologies in a real-world scenario. In the project we have a use case that is about emergency response, so we invited emergency responders from England to come down to Sheffield and help us testing our technologies. We know it is a research project, so what we are going to do, we are focusing on advanced technologies that allows to extract information from different media sources. By this I mean that we try to actually extract knowledge from fact and from data. We use intelligent technologies in the background, and then we use advanced visualization techniques that hide the complex technologies in the background and offer a user-friendly interface to the people that want to use the interface. An event like this is absolutely brilliant for us, and is a chance to understand what people need in real life that may be different from what we imagine or we think when we are envisaging the project. So a day like today is really the best thing we could get.
We had two simulated control rooms. One was taking traditional phone calls from citizens and forward liaison officers deployed by the council to the scene, reporting on what they saw, and the other one was taking photos using the application and sending the photo into the control room. The photos actually gave an instant vision of what was happening, whereas the people who were sat in the control room taking the traditional phone calls actually spent between 3 and 5 minutes actually just getting a picture of what was happening, and even when they got that picture it wasn't a full picture, and quite often they had to actually get further information or the information was missed. We did, in the actual scenario, we actually put in a hazardous chemical which had a symbol on it, and in actual fact the staff taking the calls took quite a long time just in the description of that symbol had they had the opportunity to see the photo in the other control room, they'd have got an instant picture of what it was and been able to identify what was in the box that was spilt.
I feel that the day went very well. We were able to show all the participants how the We Know It application worked, and most of them were able to have first-hand experience of using that. I hope that the participants will have learned that there's more to using a mobile phone than sending a text message or making a call, that actually it could save someone's life. Using the We Know It application, it saves resources and it saves time.